Let's begin with the usual configuration settings: the size, the background color, the stroke color, no fill, and smooth. And I want to have a circle that follows the mouse, so we know how to do that. It's very easy. Ellipse. I just type here mouse X and mouse Y. And for now, let's use a size of 20. We know that since we are not erasing the screen, all the circles are there stuck in our display. So I could add a background call right before the ellipse. And now we just have this circle. Now I want to modify the program in such a way that when I click, the circle is growing in size. So for that, I will declare a variable here, float d, like diameter. And I can give it an initial value of 20. And instead of having a fixed size here of 20, then I will use d. Now, how can I know if the mouse is pressed to increase the size of d? We know one function called mouse pressed, but this function is only executed one time when we click the mouse, and that's all. But if you look in the reference, you will find mouse pressed. There's actually a variable called mouse press. You can see there's a function, it has parentheses, and there is this variable here called mouse pressed, which you can check. If mouse pressed is true, then you know that at this moment the mouse is pressed. So that's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna use the function now, but I'm gonna check here if mouse pressed. In that case, let's increase d. So I make d++. Very simple. And now if I just move, nothing happens. If I press, then it's like blowing air into a balloon. It just gets bigger and bigger, and there's no way I can reduce the size. So what I could do is that when I release the mouse, when I stop clicking, then it would revert to the default size. How can I do that? By using a function called mouse released. So let's type here void mouse released. It's the opposite of mouse pressed. Mouse pressed is executed one time when we click the mouse. Mouse released is executed one time when we stop the click. So here I can just reset the size. I can say the diameter is 20. Now when I run the program and I click the mouse down, then the circle is growing in size, and if I lift my finger, it's reset. So the size becomes again the original 20 pixels. Now, wouldn't it be nice that instead of having just a color as a background, we would have a picture, and we would still have this circle moving and growing and shrinking? So that's not hard to do. We just have to load an image. We know how to do that. I'm gonna declare here a p image variable. I will call it back image. Then we should import some image. We have to add the file here to our project. So I'm gonna add these. I'm gonna add two images, one called small, and now I'm gonna add another one called big. Okay, so now we can check our sketch folder, and inside the data folder, we see here we have a small PNG and big PNG. Okay, we have here declared our back image variable. Now when the program starts and the setup runs, I'm gonna load here. I'm gonna say back image equals load image. I'm gonna load first the small PNG and see what happens. We know one way we can use this image, this back image, is by using the function called image, which will draw the image on the screen. We could try this out, for example, by drawing here. After erasing the screen, I'm going to type here image. The name of the image is back image. And where do I want to draw this image? I can also draw it wherever the mouse is. So mouse X, mouse Y. Let's run the program and see. And now we have this circle there. When we click, it grows. And we have this image attached to the mouse. But I would like to have the image as a background. So this is something new. Background does not only accept colors as a parameter, we can also send an image as a parameter. So I can type here background back image. I'm going to get rid of this line. I'm not going to use image, but I'm just going to use background. So now I remove the orange color, and now I'm sending here an image as a parameter. Let's try run this program. But the program doesn't work. The reason is that the background image must be the same size as your application. If we check our images here inside data, there is this small image, and you can see here is 300 times 300 pixels. The big one is 500 times 400. And what about our program? Our program is using 500 times 400. So this image, the small one, is too small to act as a background. That's why it doesn't work. We could resize the image in some image editing program, but I already have one prepared, so I can type here load image big.png. And now let's run the program. So now we have as a background an image. We don't have a color anymore. And we can still work here with our circle. It moves and it grows and it shrinks. And now for the first time we are using an image as a background. What I would like to do now is to be able to draw circles on this picture. But we need to discover something new, because we know that if we don't call background, then we get lots of circles. Let's see that if I move this background image here into the setup. Now I have the circle there, but the images are not being erased. I'm not calling background in the draw. But if I put it inside the draw, then they all get erased. So how could I draw circles now on top of my image? We are going to discover this on the next episode.